There's no doubt that the modern world that we live in today is very volatile. And in this volatile world, it's imperative that we become more creative and more innovative if we're to survive. Our creativity and our innovations will help us to face any challenges life throws at us. In this video, I'll go through 10 lessons on the art of innovation. And if you've not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe now. Inspirations have been taken from entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Ray Kroc, and Jeff Bezos. Lesson number 1 is to make meaning and not money. It's very important that when you're considering innovating, you're not innovating solely to make money. You want to make meaning. So if we look at Apple, their meaning was to democratize computers. Similarly, Google, their meaning was to democratize information. And Amazon wanted to democratize e-commerce. And finally, YouTube, their meaning was to democratize video. Lesson number 2 is to solve a problem. It's important that when you're innovating, you must innovate to solve a problem. So for example, during coronavirus, the COVID era, there were a number of manufacturers that developed the COVID vaccine. And the purpose of that was to help save lives, because during COVID time, millions of people around the world had died due to this deadly virus. So always remember to solve a problem. Tesla produces electric vehicles. Tesla is trying to make a transition to more sustainable energy. So whenever you want to innovate, make sure you innovate to solve a problem. Lesson number 3 is to surround yourself with the right people. You want to be around people who have the right mindset. You want to be around people who are passionate. And remember, you're a reflection of the top 5 people that you spend the most time with. So make sure you surround yourself with the right people. Lesson number 4 is to don't let haters grind you down. Even though you might surround yourself with the right type of people, there'll always be people who will be considered as haters and they'll try to get you down. Make sure you grow with thick skin and ignore these and blank these people out. Lesson number 5 is to find your niche. Now it's important when you're considering about innovating, you want to produce a product that is of high value and is unique. So for example, like the iPhone. iPhone is very valuable and it's very, very unique. And that's why it sells and it's a great innovation. You don't want to produce something that is not unique and that doesn't have value. Then you might as well be dead bones. So it's important that you want something that's valuable and something that's unique. So lesson number 5 is to find your niche. Lesson number 6 is jump to the next curve. Now it's important that if you want to innovate, you must go to the next curve. So it's a bit like saying jumping outside or stepping outside your comfort zone, because that's where innovation will occur, because there may be new emerging technologies that you might need to adopt, and you could never do that working in your comfort zone. So in order to innovate, remember, you must jump to the next curve. Lesson number 7 is know how to lift the lid. Now this is about how big you want to go. How big can you think? So for example, the McDonald brothers came up with a new concept of speedy food service. They were very, very successful in this new concept. But it was another person, an entrepreneur called Ray Kroc, who came on the scene and helped them to actually make McDonald's a huge global success. And he did that by doing franchise system. So he knew how to lift the lid, whereas the McDonald brothers were not able to think that big. So lesson number 7 is know how to lift the lid. Lesson number 8 is that experts are clueless. This is a quote by Steve Jobs, and that is the case. Not always experts get it right. And there's been examples. For example, Spencer Silver, a scientist at 3M who developed the adhesive for post-it notes, said that if I had thought about it, I wouldn't have done the experiment. The literature was full of examples that said you can't do this. Thomas Watson, the chairman of IBM in 1943, said, I think there's a world market for maybe 5 computers. And obviously that was wrong. And if we look today, people have almost 5 computers in one household. One of the Warner brothers in 1927 said that who the hell wants to hear actors talk? And then eventually the Warner brothers went on to produce some amazing movies with sound. And it was Steve Jobs who said that changing your mind is a sign of intelligence. Lesson number 9 is to keep it simple. And it's important that when you're innovating, you want to make things as simple as possible and make sure that they work. And simplicity is the best way. And we've seen that through simplicity, people have won the Nobel Prize. So for example, the discovery of graphene, the experiments that were carried out were very, very simple using a Scotch tape method. So keep things simple. Lesson number 10 is to dent the universe, not in a bad way to damage it, but leave behind a mark. Even if you're long gone, that the product that you've innovated has impacted people's lives. It was Steve Jobs who said, we're here to put a dent in the universe, otherwise why else even be here? So if you're embarking yourself on an entrepreneurial journey and you're thinking to innovate, make sure you consider these 10 lessons.